ask how's everything, but I kind of I kind of
No.
have idea about what the answer I'll be getting.
No.
Ah,
I didn't even let people hear that. No. We're good. We're gonna start just with the news right now because there's a chance I commit a crime. So I'm just gonna go straight to you.
hold on,
Um,
I think they're saying that I have no audio.
no,
Hold
you
on a
have
sec.
audio. You didn't have audio when we were talking about murdering Poseidon, but you have audio.
Okay.
You are free to go with the news, George.
Jesus Christ, what a way to start.
Dude. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, this is 100% my fault though. It's 100% my fault because for the longest time, like I need a replacement. I gotta fire him. He's useless. He just wants to jerk off and sleep. Everyone's like, no, don't you feel bad? No. And every 2 weeks he finds a way to fuck me over. Every 2 weeks. All right,
Yeah.
go G.
All right, man. Let's just go on to the news here. All right. So the big news this morning is the Quebec Superior Court that came on and slapped Legault in the face and suspended the whole decision to hold curfews with respect to the homeless. So this is a huge thing. I mean, we've spoken about this on many episodes about how ridiculous it was to to fine homeless people. It just made no sense, right? So the Superior Court suspended it until the 5th of February. So this basically forces an immediate debate to happen on the matter before an official judgment is rendered. According to the judge, the homeless were subjected to what they called irreparable prejudice, while their safety and security were put in peril. So it's good news. Everyone is happy for it. So the Legault government is going to go back to the drawing board, see exactly what they're going to do, how they're going to do it. But again, I mean, it made no sense, right? I think everyone kind of expected this. Um, I just don't understand how they didn't see this. They couldn't foresee this happening. It didn't make sense to any of us, right? When we were talking about. So I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy that they did this. So we'll see what happens.
Can they go
Um,
further with this? Can they fight the curfew with this?
well, this is it. Now that there is no curfew now for the
No, for the
homeless.
homeless. I'm talking about for us.
Well, this is the
I
next.
have rights too.
Well, well, I don't think so. I mean, for now, it's only the. Not I don't think you don't have rights. I don't think this is going to happen. But there is, because I was going to talk about this a bit later. But let's move on to that now. I was going to talk about Quebec in the next couple of days, in the next coming days. I'm not sure if it's going to happen this week or early next week, but there are rumors that Quebec will be alleviating the restrictions by regions. So that's also a good thing. Obviously, since the curfew was imposed, we're seeing the numbers in COVID cases really decline significantly. Except for Montreal, Montreal is still in a critical stage. The hospitals are still overcrowded, but everywhere else it seems to be going fine. I mean, we're slightly over 1,000 cases a day, where only a week ago or a week and a half ago we had surpassed 2,000. So we're seeing kind of the effect. Obviously, this is the curfew. People aren't going out at night. The youngsters aren't going over their friend's house. So,
But they weren't
uh,
going. But before the curfew, they weren't going before. Those were illegal gatherings before too.
yeah, but they were happening. They were illegal, but they were happening. Now, I guess it's much more strict. People are thinking twice about getting into a car after 8 o'clock. Some people, I was talking with Phil actually yesterday, and even though he is considered an essential service because you guys in broadcasting, you're allowed to move around, he still got pulled over. The cop was asking him a million questions. So
When did
it's
he get pulled over? He wasn't filming anything at night.
he was, I think, 5 minutes past 8. He was telling me, and he got pulled over. He had a letter, and he told him, "Look, this is what I do. I'm the owner of the business. We're in broadcasting. It's considered an essential sector." The cop wanted nothing to do. I can't remember if he got a ticket. I don't think he got fined for it. He let him go, but the cop had like a million questions. So even if you're convinced that nothing's going to happen to you, chances are that you're still getting stopped. You're going to get harassed by the cops because, like we said, it's all arbitrary. I mean, we're depending on the judgment of these cops to handle this situation, and it's frustrating because, well, we don't know exactly what they've been told and what criteria they're using. So, anyway,
Yeah, I got chased Monday night when I was leaving 2 drink minimum for a couple of blocks. They even drove the wrong side of the street across the median to try to sneak into to an alley to follow me on Monday. So it was a little extreme, but they never pulled me over.
Okay.
They followed me for a couple of blocks with their lights off, black car lights off completely, like one of those fucking movies, like they were coming to murder me. And I just kept pretending they weren't behind me. Then they flashed their high beams a bit. I again pretended I couldn't see them. And they just stopped following me at some point.
Why would they flash their high beams? Like, what the fuck is the point?
I don't know. You tell me. And it was pitch black. And they had their lights off.
This wasn't a ghost car. It was like an actual police car?
No, it was the police car. It was the black police cars. You know, the ones that have police, but it's black, not white?
Yeah.
There's a lot of those now.
I don't know, man. That just doesn't make sense. Anyway, so look, just to get back to what we're saying, the cases have dropped significantly in Quebec since the curfew was imposed. I was reading La Presse yesterday, and like I said, the government is considering lifting restrictions in certain regions, and they're even considering reopen certain businesses that have remained closed for all this time, like restaurants and other businesses. So there will inevitably be a risk, obviously, in controlling the movement of the people between the different regions, right? If this were to happen, look, we were never in favor of the government closing down restaurants. We never saw how that made sense. The problem now is that, say they move forward with this and they lift restrictions in certain regions, like in the north, like we saw up north, like Saint-Sauveur and all these areas.
Yeah.
How do you control people from Montreal going into these areas and eating out and partying and just staying there? Like, it's exactly what had happened a couple.
But you shouldn't control them. You should let them go out and eat out and do all that stuff.
Yeah, but see, that's how we fall. That's how we fall back into this yo-yo effect, where we see an improvement and then a couple of weeks later, because we can't control ourselves, we're back to lockdowns. So I don't know. One thing's for sure, whatever happens with respect to the regions, I think there is no doubt that Montreal would remain under a strict lockdown. So if Montreal remains under the strict lockdown, it's what you were talking about before. What does that mean for the curfew? Yeah. Are we continuing the curfew in Montreal? Are we maintaining lockdown but removing the curfew? Are we just keeping everything as is in Montreal and alleviating the regions? We don't know. Everybody is waiting to see what the government is going to announce in the next coming days. Look, we were all against this curfew thing, man, but you're seeing the numbers, and clearly, I mean, I don't think there's any science behind it, but at the same time, I mean, we're seeing the numbers reducing significantly. So I don't know.
Well,
I don't know if
you're seeing the numbers reduce significantly, but what the fuck does that have to do with the curfew? How do we know that has anything to do with the curfew?
Well, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. That's the question mark. Is it linked to that? Is there a relation to that? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, but we know that most cases were still happening in the seniors' residences, in the healthcare facilities, the hospitals, etc., and the schools. Now, were they happening in the schools during school hours, during the time that they were supposed to be in school, or were those kids partying at each other's houses and then transmitting it during the day when they were like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's any information to back that up. At the end of the day, we're just looking at the numbers here, right? There was a curfew imposed, and suddenly the numbers are back close to 1,000 a day. Of course, we want to reduce that even more. We'll see. I don't know. But Montreal, I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. So we'll see. We'll wait to see. I mean, look, it's definitely good news, at least for the regions. If this were to happen. Again, I just want people to be careful. It's not because, for example, Saint-Sauveur will open up, they're going to flood the streets again. I don't know if you guys remember a couple months ago, I think it was before Christmas, where the mayor of Saint-Sauveur was coming out and pleading with the government to have checks on the roads, right? For people to come in. So,
have a lot of people died in Saint-Sauveur?
I'm not sure, but
because I remember the panic.
Yeah, because they weren't in a red zone. So everyone from Montreal, they're like, fuck it. I'll drive 40 minutes, 35, 40 minutes, and I'll just go enjoy myself there. The bars were open, the restaurants were open. It was like nothing was happening. Suddenly you had Montreal that was a ghost town, and fucking Saint-Sauveur, it was flooded with people, So anyways, we'll see what happens. I hope that we're in the last stretch. There's going to be much more effort in vaccinating people now. So I don't know, man. I just want this summer to be, quote unquote, more normal, right? So
we'll wait and see. More normal than what? Than the year or than last summer? Because last summer was fine. You remember?
Last summer was okay. yeah. Last summer was okay, but I think that also contributed to the fact that in the fall when school started, obviously the schools also were a major factor in this. But I honestly believe the fact that we were so lenient during the summer obviously contributed to the spike that we had in the fall. Um, I don't know. We've said this before. It started off pretty okay. In the beginning, everyone was kind of scared. Everyone was kind of worried. Everyone was respecting the government's um, uh, regulations. And from March until about May, nothing was going on. Everybody was being careful. Then the summer came along, and it's like as if it was gone. Everybody was out, as if there was no fucking pandemic, right? And well, we paid the price in the fall.
So you think with what happened now with that judge ruling over Legault's kind of homeless ticketing, you think that we can use this same Supreme Court judge to bypass some of these fucking bylaws?
Well, it wasn't the
Decrease?
judge. It wasn't the judge on her own initiative that did this, right? It was a case brought to her by the some group that defends the homeless. I
So
can't
can
remember
we
what it's
bring a
called.
case in front of her? Similar ones?
You can bring a case to anytime you want to whoever you want. But this, I mean, they saw the logic behind it, right? And we spoke about it. And plus, comparing to the larger population of Quebec, when you're looking at the homeless population, I mean, the percentage is very low of the people that are affected by this change, right? You're not you're not countering a decision by the government that's going to affect hundreds of thousands of people, you know.
Yeah.
So obviously that had something to do in the equation. But did you see those images coming out of this last week in the Jewish Orthodox communities?
Of course, yeah, I talked about it on the show. Yeah, it was funny.
Like, guys, come on, man. We're trying. Everyone is trying to be careful. All the places of worship are respecting the confinement rules, and then you have these clips coming out, dude. It was like in the hundreds.
Why are you being anti-Semitic?
I'm not being anti-Semitic. It's just that what do you not understand?
Well,
And I
you're being
understand that.
anti-Semitic, George. Okay, you can't tell them how they're gonna apply their faith. Some people get down and pray. Other people gather in basements by the hundreds, dressed like Abraham Lincoln impersonators. You don't control these things.
But you know what? Even other Jewish organizations came out to.
Yeah, of course. They're like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. What the hell? What's wrong with you people? You know what I mean? They're like, stop. Like, why? Why would you do this? Why would you go against the regulations? I mean, you know what
By
it is.
the hundreds. That was epic. But that's commitment. If you're
It would just not stop. I was watching that. There was a video of someone.
It's
Like,
like-
it was from the street level, and I know exactly where this synagogue is.
yeah, me too.
It's one of the biggest ones in Outremont, and it was just never ending. The people were just running out. It's like, how many of you were in there?
Look,
You know?
in their defense, if you're gonna break the law, you go hard.
You might as well go all out.
You
exactly.
you fucking double, triple down on that. I like what they did.
But you know what the thing is, man? And then you saw families with little kids running out. It's like, dude, how traumatizing must that be? The kid has no idea what's going on.
Why the cops
You're
are yelling at him?
It's Friday night. You're getting prepared for Sabbath. You're 6, 7 years old. Suddenly the cops storm the building, and you're running out with your mom crying, yelling, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Some
Calling
wacky
the cops
videos.
Nazis, dude. What are you talking about here?
Oh, they did.
Did
They
you-
called the cops Nazis.
Yeah, they were calling the cops Nazis. I think 4 or 5 cops were they were, I don't know if they were beaten, but they were they were attacked. What
Well,
the hell,
attacked.
man? I'm sorry. So anyway, but last week, I mean, the health authorities allowed the places of worship to allow up to 10 people. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Is that gonna last?
Sorry, what was that?
Is that gonna last? Because they did that last month too, and then they stopped it. Like it's very vague.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. It's the yo-yo effect, right? I mean, you give a little bit and they take too much, and then you have to, backtrack on that. The interesting thing for me is that, and obviously, I mean, I've been to one synagogue, so it's one big open space. I don't know how these synagogues are in Outremont, but as soon as that was announced, there was a press release that was issued by the Orthodox Jewish community that I read, and they basically were they were making public the orders that they got from the health authorities of Quebec that allowed them to have 10 people maximum per room, right? So I don't, but and they're allowing them if there are other separate rooms within the synagogue that have separate entrances. You're also allowed to have 10 people
But can
as
I
long
can
as
I have a question because I read that I didn't understand it. What do you mean if they have separate entrances? If the rooms have separate entrances?
yeah, if you have separate,
Well, every room has a separate entrance, right? Because it's a different room.
but it has to be a closed again, I don't know how they're composed. The only synagogue I've been to has been one big
Yeah,
stage,
I'm
just like
saying, but if there
right.
are rooms, like if you're like, oh, if there's different rooms with, so basically, if you have a,
So let's say you have three entrances, like three different entrances that leads to three separate closed off areas. You're allowed to have 10 in each.
that doesn't make any sense.
Well, that's what I read. That's how I
No,
understood it.
I know that that's what it writes
Yeah,
because I
and
remember
they
trying
said
to
that,
rationalize it.
and it said that you can't take one large space and kind of divide it into like 4 or 5 different sections. It has to be really just different divisions within
It probably
the.
has to be entrances from outside or exits because it doesn't make sense. Because if it's entrances to the room, then any
Oh yeah,
building with 50
yeah. Sorry.
rooms, you could have
Okay,
500 people.
yeah. I don't know if it wasn't clear. Yeah, it has to be an external, like a door leading outside,
Separate
like
door.
a separate entrance.
So
Yeah,
five
exactly. Not
rooms, you need to have 5 different doors leading
five
outside.
or exactly. I don't know if they have that. I mean,
What
I
a
haven't seen it.
wacky thing.
You know, so I don't know. I mean, look. And the funny thing is, and this I was reading it this morning when I woke up. The Orthodox Jewish community has been targeted by death threats.
For what?
So from people thinking, "Oh, you guys, man, you're going to infect us. You guys should all die. You should all be killed if you don't respect." Like, there's a lot of death threats, and there's a police inquiry underway. I just find that very ironic because just a couple of days ago you were calling these same police officers Nazis, and now and now you're sending your death threats to them, right? So they can investigate.
Well, don't be so quick to laugh, George, because we might find out that the investigation finds that it was the cops sending those letters. That would be fucking hilarious.
But imagine, like, you're one of the police officers, you're being called a Nazi, and then a couple days later, you're receiving a call saying, "Yeah, we're getting death threats over here. Can you please investigate?"
And they're like, Sylvain, good job on the threats. They're reacting. But the death threats don't make any sense because they're like, look, if COVID doesn't kill you, I will.
Well, yeah, but don't forget, there's a lot of stupid people, and they're seeing these images. Like, I mean, we're talking about in the hundreds of thousands of views, right? I mean, they were all over Facebook, all over all the social
They
media
were
platforms.
hilarious, George.
So I mean, that's the other question we have. Like, how stupid are you? I mean, okay, you're seeing these things. Why would you go threaten the Jewish community? I mean, do you think they know better? They're I mean, you know them. They're very close-minded. They listen to their leaders, and their leaders are very driven by their religion. And they're like, yeah, come to the synagogue. Fuck the government. We're opening our religion. Our religious rights won't be affected, and they shouldn't be affected. We live in a free country. Come. So that's what they believe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, why are you threatening these people? Like, we get it. It's frustrating. You don't understand that we're in a pandemic. We don't understand how they don't understand that they need to respect the government restrictions. But I'm not gonna go fucking threaten the guy because, like, what's wrong with people,
It's
man?
just, but I have a great observation, but we're doing the morning show, so I won't make it. I'll tone it down because it's early, but I will remember it for all my later shows and then bring it up.
No, you should say it. I mean, I think
No, it's
people
just
are.
it's just because of what you said. You're like, they're very strict, they're very religious. Man, I'll bring you a lot of 2 Drink Minimum fans who happen to be escorts, who will tell you their number one customers are a lot of those guys you saw running around in that fucking video. So I love when you pick and choose when you're gonna be religious.
Yeah. Listen, man, they got to keep the business going. They're
Come
supporting
on,
their
it's just.
business.
That's what I'm saying is like you're an idiot to send death threats, and you're also an idiot when you know that you're being watched to
Yeah, for being
bring
so
hundreds of
negative.
people and then be like, whoa, what's the deal? It's a religious thing. Like, oh, really? That's why? Yeah, because you had no choice? Come on, guys. So no, it was
I
super
don't know, man.
super
I
stupid,
don't
but very entertaining.
Oh, dude, and they were just coming out, and I saw
like a
like
clown
three
car.
different. but I saw like 3 different synagogues. At some point, I thought it was the same one being repeated from a different angle. I'm like, wait, that's not the same building. Like, how many of these are happening right now? People were just they just happened to be outside the synagogue filming. You know, it's like as if they were expecting this to
Well,
happen.
here's
You
the other
know?
thing that I find suspicious that happened to be outside. What are you doing outside past curfew?
Yeah, maybe you're walking your dog. I don't know.
It seems suspicious. Everyone walks their dogs in front of synagogues. All of this
But
seems suspicious.
but at the same time, maybe it wasn't the curfew time, right? Because first of all, you're not allowed to be there to begin with. So
Yeah.
regardless of the time, even if it's 5 or 6 in the afternoon, you're still not allowed to be in a synagogue, in the hundreds. So I don't think they were breaking the rule about the curfew, and that's assuming that it was before. I think they were breaking the rule because they were they were more than zero in the synagogue.
The first video is the video that you sent me on this. There was hundreds of people running out and there was people yelling and screaming, but the dumbest person in the video you sent me was the guy next to the camera people, the guy who was yelling in French, crying, saying, "Why are you doing this? Your people are dying," yelling. That guy crying, I was like, this is the dumbest. There's 400 people there and I found the dumb one. The dumbest person in that video was the guy crying.
I missed that.
Oh, dude, you have to listen to the whole thing because it's towards the end. He's like, "Your people are dying too," and he's freaking out. And I'm like, "Jeez, go home, Steve.
He
Go
wasn't
home."
yelling at the cops. He was yelling at the Jews.
He's yelling at the Jews, yeah. But it was just he was crying in the middle of shit. Go home. Go to your family. What are you sitting there crying in the middle of the street? It was so stupid, so dumb.
I didn't hear that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're killing your own people.
Yes, your people are dying too. And then while he's saying that, the other people are like, "Yo, look at all these Jews!" Like it's just two different, like perspectives of the situation. It was so stupid.
Oh man.
So stupid. Yeah, the common denominator there was dumb.
Look, we knew that the rules were being broken, but that, like, just as a visual,
Yeah.
it was impressive, man. It was like, okay, when does it end? People were just storming out, man. It was like someone's running after them, like.
Well, someone was running after them, a bunch of cops.
Oh my God. The last time I saw something like that happen, I was probably like 17 or 18, maybe 19. We were at a club and the cops stormed the club and everybody started running out as if we did something wrong. We just followed. What's going on? Everybody's running out. Let's go. Let's go.
When you were young, those kind of clubs were illegal. Now you guys can even get married. But yo, I was going to tell you the cop cars now, is there some kind of a change happening? Why are there so many of the black ones? You know what I mean?
Wait, are you talking
Get the
about
fuck out of here. Get out. Get the fuck out of here. Out of the fucking building. Sorry, that was Poseidon trying to come in here. Not playing that shit no more.
Oh man, are you talking about the ghost cars or the cars with the sirens?
I haven't seen the ghost cars. They have sirens on them. Obviously, they're cop cars, but they're black. They have the police in white, but it's a whole different look. Like I remember the white cars all the time, and now I've been seeing more and more the black SUV, regular cars.
Yeah, it's a little bit more intimidating, eh? The black car.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
The
Is it
Chargers, the Dodge Chargers, there, whatever?
Yeah, is it a psyop or something?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell it is, man. But I'm seeing a lot of ghost cars with no lights, nothing.
What do you mean?
That's what I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing a lot more police cars that are just black, like ghost cars. Like they don't have the lights, nothing. They just look like a regular black car.
Like on the highway?
Anywhere on there's one guy over here. I see him all the time. When I leave my house, he's always at a corner. He does the stop signs. This guy stops probably hundreds of people a day, and it's like a Ford, whatever. I don't even know what it is. It looks like a regular car. It's just black, nothing on top, no sirens, nothing, and it's not as if it says police like black on black.
Oh, it doesn't say anything.
Kind of, it's nothing. It's just black. It's just a black car.
You sure he's a cop?
Yeah, he's a cop. Like the lights are under, like they're above his windshield, but inside the car. So like he pulls you over, like there are lights. The guy comes out, he's dressed as a police officer, but there's no way that you'd ever imagine that he's a cop. And I'm seeing a lot more of these going around.
Holy shit! Okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. Let's talk a little bit because we spoke about this last week, where there was a little fight between fight. There was a little thing happening between Premier Legault and Justin Trudeau, where Legault was pressuring Justin to either close the borders or force the travelers to quarantine under supervision. And there was a little back and forth. Remember, I don't remember who said it. I think it was you or Phil, where Trudeau said, we respect something called the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, and we don't want to impose anything like that.
Oh yeah, Trudeau was trying to act like he respects people's freedoms.
Yeah, giving a shot to the balls, to Legault's balls for imposing a curfew kind of thing. So now, because of that, since that has happened, the media has been pressuring the Trudeau government to impose this forced quarantine for returning travelers or non-essential travelers. And apparently, in the next couple of days, he's probably going to move towards that.
Which is going to be what exactly?
People that are traveling that isn't considered non-essential, when they come back, they are forced to quarantine, probably in a hotel or something like that,
or home
under supervision, so they won't be able to come out, and they will have to pay for it on their own. 14 days.
Hold on. These are people that are not Canadians, that don't live here.
No, they're Canadians, because now you can fly, you can leave.
That's what I'm saying. So why wouldn't I just quarantine at my house?
Because they don't trust that you will. So let's say now March break is around the corner, okay?
Yeah.
You have tickets booked to go to Mexico or whatever, down south. You do it because you're allowed. I mean, they can't, shut down the flights. I don't think Trudeau will. So, but when you come back, they're going to grab you and they're going to tell you you're going straight to the hotel and you're going to stay there for 14 days. Oh, and by the way, you're paying for it.
But so you're going to put me up in a hotel and I have to pay for it? But how is that safer than me going to my house? Are you also going to are you going to waste taxpayer money so that there's cops and security watching you at all times?
Yeah, there's going to be, it's the RCMP apparently that.
So we're going to waste actual officers on that?
Well, they're paid anyway. It's just that they're just going to be.
Yeah, but they should be solving fucking crimes.
Yeah. But that's what it is. Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, I think if you want to go and have fun down south, I don't have an objection to this. Honestly, come back. You were stupid enough to go down south and contract whatever fucking virus. What guarantees do I have that you're going to stay home and you're not going to be going around spreading your
yeah, but it's always like that. If somebody gets it here, what guarantees do you have this is going to stay home?
I don't know exactly, but there is no guarantees, and you can catch it anytime, anywhere. But at least you're not going after it. You're not looking for the trouble. I mean, we're trying to control the pandemic, and you're out fucking traveling, right? So I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he imposes it, and if he does exactly that, maybe there'll be, I don't know, some variant. Maybe you just forced him to quarantine for 7 days instead of 14. I don't know. The problem that I have with this is that the same way that this whole curfew thing has been very arbitrary, and we're relying on the judgment of the police officers to evaluate if whether or not you're considered an essential service or whatever.
Yeah.
Someone that flies down to the U.S. and says, you know what, I went to see my sick mom, is that considered essential or is it not? Someone says, listen, man, I work, I have businesses, or my company is sending me to the U.S.
It's essential.
We're in the food the distribution business, and I have to go down, like that probably is essential.
So everything that's not vacation is essential?
Yeah, but then again, like there's probably a huge gray zone. Like I want to go see my family member that's hospitalized in fucking, I don't know, in Texas, is it essential? And at the same time, if I'm going to go visit this person in a hospital, I mean, chances are that you're increasing the probabilities of you contracting the virus too. So,
well, I don't know. I feel it a little hypocritical where the lines are being drawn, because these are the same people who also made it okay for people to go back to school, kids, and cause this outbreak, right? Mm-hmm. And then now they're telling you, oh, no, but it's crazy. If you go to a hospital to visit someone or whatever, you can't because you might get it. Yeah, you mean like when you go to fucking school and these kids are licking each other? Where it fucking exploded in September. Like that, you mean?
Yeah, well, look, of course it's hypothetical. I'm just questioning how are they going to judge or determine what is considered an essential travel.
How friendly you are to the government, George. It's pretty clear.
And we've seen it. We've seen it now with the curfew. It's been completely arbitrary. Yep. It's like, Phil getting pulled over telling him, dude, I'm in an essential sector. Mind you,
Phil wasn't doing essential work, though. Phil wasn't doing essential work. I'm not with them. I don't think Phil should ever get pulled over. I don't like the curfew, but I'm just saying Phil wasn't doing essential work. Like like personally on Mondays, like when I'm recording late, and I go straight home right after they pull me over, I have it. If they stop me on a random Thursday night, I'm out at 11 because I wanted to go buy something at the gas station, then it sucks, but I'm not doing my essential work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course, and of course that's the unfair element in all this, because you can very well and easily say, look, man, this is where I work. I was at my studio. I'm going here or there. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way to know if you were actually doing that. But the fact is that, yeah, you work in an essential service. Phil got pulled over, he told me, and he gave him the letter. Sadly, the letter was written by Phil himself.
Yeah.
So the cop was like, yeah, that's very convenient. You're writing your own letters? Phil was like, dude, I own the fucking business.
Yeah, she's allowed. Yeah, me too. Same thing. I had to write my own letter.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, put yourself in the cop's position. You're pulling someone over that looks like you, long hair, beard, fucking kind of rude, and he's like, "What the fuck do you want? Why are you pulling me over?" I get a paper and it's signed by you. Like,
I would be like, all right, you have outsmarted me, handsome fellow. Carry on.
let's call this number, and your cell phone rings. In
Yeah,
the
it's
car.
the best. Yeah.
So
And then when he's looking at him, like, don't talk to me, talk to him. Talk to him.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But I didn't make. But here's the thing. This is what fucking pisses me off. This is what the government asked us to do. This is how the government asked us to create the paper. This is how the government asked us to proceed. So how are we then the bad guys? Like, who do you want to sign my paper? My employee is going to sign for me. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, of course. And that's why, look, I mean, this didn't make sense from the beginning. I mean, maybe it made sense in their mind that it's going to reduce the movement and the people going around and stuff. Okay, I get that. But for me, the problem was, who are you going to point the finger to, and why, and how are you going to determine if that person is in the wrong or not? Like, for me, see, like there was no concise criteria, right? Like, I mean, it's okay. The police officers, use your judgment and go. We said the story about the guy that stopped the nurse and gave her a ticket because she hadn't signed the back of her registration.
Yeah. Well, that guy's an asshole. But I think the black car that was following me, I think he used his judgment. Well, even though the lights off and being creepy is I don't know, that's just weird. But I think he used his judgment because I think what he did is he was probably running my plates. And he probably saw that I was like, 5 minutes from where I live. So he probably determined, okay, this motherfucker is not fucking around. He probably is going home. He might be in essential work. Like he's headed towards where he lives. So maybe that's why he didn't pull me over.
Yeah, that's good judgment.
That's good judgment, but everything leading up to that, with the sneaking in the alleys, going the wrong way, turning the lights off and following me, high beams, all that shit's crazy behavior. That's the behavior of a psychotic.
Turning off the lights is funny, man. It's like,
and it's funny because I'm like, I can still see him. Like, like we're not in the woods. Like, there's enough lights where I could still see your car right up my ass, like really stuck. I was like, I could still see this guy. Like, what the fuck is this? But I pretended that I didn't. I was like, do.
Yeah, just ignore them.
Just ignore him, yeah.
Speaking of COVID, last week, the Montreal Heart Institute, they discovered, well, there was a major advancement that can help COVID patients around the world. They discovered that this medicine called colchicine that is already being used and for different other diseases. It could reduce the complications that are associated with COVID-19. It's basically an anti-inflammatory. It's a medication. It's an oral tablet. And again, it's already in the market. It exists. It's very inexpensive to make. And
is it over the counter? I could buy this stuff.
I don't know if it's over the counter, but it's already being used for a number of diseases. So basically, they had received funding of, I think, $3 million last year. So I mean, the fact that it's coming out with this isn't just random. I mean, they've been working on this for a while. Basically, from the people that they tested, I mean, it's only been people that have been over 40 years old with potential risks of complications. If ever they were to contract COVID-19. So the results that they came up with, basically, this medication helped reduce hospitalizations by 25%. It reduced the need for medical ventilation by 50%, and it reduced the deaths by 44%. So obviously there's some sort of efficiency over here with this medication. And they do believe that this could become the first oral medication that could be used by non-hospitalized patients to help out the situation. So this is huge, and it's from the Montreal Heart Institute. So something that we should all be proud of.
Oh wow, okay. Well, let's
Yeah,
see if it's legit, because every couple of months I keep hearing of like a magic thing that's coming out and then it never works.
Well, look, I mean, everyone is focused on some form of a vaccine, but this, I mean, obviously the numbers aren't as effective as the vaccine is, but if it can
Well,
help.
wait. See, there again, you just said something that I don't know if that's true. How effective is the vaccine? From what I've heard, it's not effective. From what I've heard is if you get it, both doses, you still have to live your life the way you did pre-vaccine, because you could still get it.
Yeah, but we're talking about 95% chances that you don't contract anything versus whatever 25%.
No, but I'm saying 95% chance that you don't contract anything. If that's the case, then why would we live as if when you get the vaccine, there's no difference between you getting it and not getting it?
No, I understand your argument, but I mean, from the very beginning, nobody said that once you take the vaccine, you're fine. I mean, obviously, when they're telling you there's 95, it's effective at 95%. There's obviously a 5% risk. All I'm saying is that this seems to be a good alternative, especially for people in that age group, where you can take precautions and avoid any further complications, right? And again, we don't have any studies. I mean, it's still relatively new, the vaccine. We don't know what side effects there is to this, right? So we don't know if this medication is being used now and we know it, we use it. But
it doesn't look like there's that many side effects because they're giving it to old people and they even give it to old famous people. Like, I don't know if you saw the baseball guy, Hank Aaron. He got it. He's fine. So I think we're good. I think it looks like the vaccine rollout seems safe.
Well, the rollout, I mean, we're still behind, and I don't understand how Canada has remained so behind in the distribution of the vaccine across the country. We're really doing bad. Like, I mean, I thought we'd have much more people vaccinated by now.
Is it because of refusal? Oh, I just got a notification here, George. Seems Hank Aaron has died. So I take that back about the vaccine.
Who's Hank Aaron? That's the baseball player. The
guy who got vaccinated 2 weeks ago. And he was telling people in Black America, "You guys should get vaccinated. This shit's safe."
Oh, I heard about this guy. I didn't know he had taken the vaccine. This is the legendary baseball player.
Legendary.
That broke Babe Ruth's record. Okay. Oh, he's dead.
He's dead, George. Keep pushing your vaccine on people.
You were just saying that it's fine.
I thought it was fine until I saw people were dropping like flies.
Oh man. But anyways, look, I think this is good news. I mean, the fact that it seems to be much more simple than getting a vaccine. You just pop a pill and you're reducing the risk potential.
I like the popping a pill scenario. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more in favor of a pill rather than having something injected in my body.
Again, even now, like even my building, who they've been on and off, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. But as of yesterday, they put these signs up. Now they go anywhere you are in common areas. Now you also have to wear a mask. We didn't have that before. We had like different rules of only 2 people in like elevators and stuff of that nature. And now they're like, anywhere you are in the common area, please wear a mask. And I'm like, ugh.
Well, it kind of makes sense. No, if you're in a common area, what, before there was no masks in common areas?
What do you mean?
How does that make sense?
Yeah, you're saying like most people would wear them, but you didn't. It wasn't like now it says like it's mandatory.
I thought all closed spaces, like indoor, you had to wear it, especially if it's a place of business.
What do you mean? Like my building? I'm not talking about a building here where I work. I'm talking about where I live.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah, no, here they're mandatory. They're mandatory all the time. It's just there's always an asshole, myself, who's not wearing the mask.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so your house, the building, yeah, so they're imposing the mask.
Yeah.
But that would make sense. I mean, imagine if the building you work at it has imposed the mask, which is obviously much larger, much bigger, much roomier spaces. Don't you think it makes sense that much smaller spaces like a condo, like a building like that, where the hallways are much narrower and there's a bigger risk of running into people that you should have been wearing a mask?
I guess I have no fucking idea. Like look here. The thing is, in this building, everyone, because of COVID or the restrictions, like a lot of places shut down. So it's not like there's anyone there. They're closed.
Right.
So there's not that many people here in the day. We kind of dominate the whole area for now. But where I live, depending on the time, like after 4 to 5:30, and in the morning, there's more people walking around the common areas. Especially yesterday, I was trying to get up I was trying to go upstairs to my floor, and it was just I had to wait for 4 or 5 elevators because there's already people inside, and there's 2 max, and people are freaking out and shit. So, but I don't do it when I'm in. I don't do that though. When I'm in, the doors open. There's one guy there waiting or a lady or something. I'm like, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, oh, you could come. I don't give a shit. Like, okay. And then they come in. You let them in, they come in. They're not like, oh, no, I can't. If you let them, they're like, all right. Which means that most people, as long as it's not excessive, they're not going to freak out about it.
Yeah. Are you really high up? What floor are you on?
I'm at the top floor.
Oh, shit. So, forget about the stairs, right?
Yeah, forget about the stairs. Like, I take the stairs
it's not even an option.
No, I take the stairs when I'm doing exercise. Like, that's how many stairs there are. Like, I take them when I'm doing exercise.
Yeah. Just one flight.
Yeah, it's not. No, I do the whole building, but it's not something you. Yeah, because they closed the gym downstairs, so it's not something you want to do every day when you're getting back. But I kind of understand. Like I kind of get the fear. You don't know what the fuck's going on, but you live in the building. I mean, I don't think an extra person in the elevators was gonna get you.
Speaking of stairs, man, this reminds me. Our honeymoon, when we came back, it was just such a mess, man. We flew, we went to Colombia, and then there was a stopover in Miami. We missed that flight because the fucking pilot in Colombia was late. He was partying with I don't know who. The guy showed up like an hour and a half late, and we're like, what the hell's going on? So obviously we missed the connecting flight in Miami. There was all these things, man. It was just fucking, frustrating. Finally, we get to Montreal. Yeah, finally we get to Montreal. It's like at 1:30 in the morning. We get to the condo, and there was a fire alarm.
Oh, come on.
So we pull up, everybody's downstairs outside. I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. No, the luggage and everything. Nobody's going in. I go to my wife, I don't give a fuck, man. I want to be in my bed right now. She's like, how are we going to go up? I'm like, we're taking the fucking stairs. I don't care. And we went up the stairs with the luggages.
And the alarm's blaring.
Yeah. She's like, but we can. I'm like, I don't care. I won't take the elevator. Let's just go. It's like whatever. It's a test. I don't even know what was going on. But
a lot of times there are tests here. Like they've done it to me a couple times where they're just testing.
Yeah.
One time it was at night. Actually, one time at night, someone rang the fire alarm because they smelled marijuana and they panicked. And the whole building had.
Somebody tripped the alarm for that.
Yeah. It's like there was a bunch of kids in the stairs. Yeah, some kid was smoking marijuana in the stairs, which I don't agree with because it's a closed area. It's gonna stink. But I'm saying it's not you shouldn't pull the fire alarm for that. So everyone had to evacuate, and we're done. And then when I found out, I lost my shit. I was like, "You fucking idiots! You stupid people!" And then one morning, I remember it's when they're testing. I don't know how I didn't kill someone. They're just testing. Testing is every alarm is ringing in everyone's apartment. And then they just bum. They just knock on the door while I'm sleeping. What the fuck? You get up, you're half naked, and they barge into your house to push a button to make sure it works or some shit. But it's like some of this has to be illegal. Like you're a human being. They're running in like you're a goddamn animal in a farm.
Who ran in? Like the people from the administration, or
the janitor of the building, and they go house to house doing that in the morning. Yeah, I remember they did it once. Wow. I was too tired to realize when they went in and out. Next time, I'm fucking beating someone up.
When we were at the condo, twice a year, we all got notified that the firemen were coming to test the alarm. So
that's what they told us. They said from 9 a.m. whatever. So these fucking idiots show up at 8:30 in the morning yelling with like.
But it wasn't some janitor in his fucking tank top in his ripped jeans. You know, what I mean?
It was the janitor's wife that showed up.
Oh man,
with
a shower cap on.
Hi. Yeah, no, because I had my, I was, I'm half naked, bro. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Who's coming to my house right now? Like, I'm just freaking out. Like, what's going on? You're half asleep, and then I'm like, yeah, today's the day they're gonna check them. They said starting from 9 a.m. It was like 8:15. Like, what the fuck? You can't say 9 a.m. and then barge in at 8 o'clock. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the Montreal businessman that will be part of the first fully private human space flight to the International Space Station? These guys, there's three businessmen. I think 2 are from the U.S., 1 is from Montreal. They're paying $55 million each to fly and stay, I think, for a week or 8 days.
Where?
At the International Space Center.
At the International Space Station?
Yeah.
That thing in the sky that's floating with the Russians?
the thing in the sky that is floating. So this is the first time there's like an all private crew flying there.
How
It's
rich and out of touch are they? 55 million. There's way cheaper ways to go spend 2 weeks with two Russians and a Chinese guy. Like, there are cheaper alternatives to this.
Yeah, but you're not in space, man. It's that whole experience. But $55 million, man, like, there's no way that it can cost that much. Like, I mean, for the three of them, they're paying whatever. What's 55 times three?
$165 million.
70, 165.
It's a lot of money. Is it Canadian?
No, U.S.
Even more. That's like $8 million.
So this basically has spurred an interesting debate about the future of space travel and the dangers that are associated to this. I mean, it takes specific training to fly into space. I mean, you can't just. I know I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd fucking pass out and probably die halfway there. But there has been this growing trend, and we've seen companies like Virgin, Blue Origin. I think it's Bezos' company.
I personally don't think. I think we have to stop sending Virgins to space. You gotta let them experience everything here first.
Yeah,
you got other stuff to handle, sir.
So yeah, they've been investing massively in sending private individuals to space. I don't know. Is it really a?
How does this help humanity?
What'd you say?
How does this help humanity?
Yeah, I don't know. I had read somewhere there was an article. I think it was last year I read it, or the year before. I think it was last year, where what's his face? Elon Musk was considering not space travel, but normal travel, but using space shuttle. So for example, you would leave LA to go to Europe. It would be like half an hour thing. So because it would fly really up, it would go obviously into space, and then it would just land into Europe.
Yeah.
So you're eliminating not only the distance, but also the time.
I had seen that shit, but it scares me.
It scares the shit out of me, man. Are you kidding me? First of all, so now they were running tests to see how it would work with all the G-force and all that stuff, and how there would be a way to I don't know if you could eliminate it or maybe make it feel as though you're not feeling it when you're flying. I don't know, but it's interesting though for me. Like when you're telling me that, look, you're going to go into the space shuttle, you're going to be launched into space. It's going to take about a minute, and then you're going to descend into another continent. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That to me is absurd, but it would make travel, as long as the TSA could calm its tits and it wouldn't take you fucking 8 hours at the goddamn airport, that would make travel amazing. But I'm thinking of those rich guys that you said. I'm reading into it differently. There's a lot that I think of when I see that. So $55 million for you to fly into space. For me, what it tells me is, let's say they have wives, right? Like, how much does your wife suck? That you have so much money and you're like, I'm leaving the fucking planet for 2 weeks? I can't. No. I don't get reception. You can't call me. You can't. Heather, you can't. There's no reception. It's a business thing. And it's just 3 dudes going up there. Like, just to get the fuck away from their wives.
Yeah, it's a mandatory expense.
It's a mandatory expense.
This is something I have to do.
I got to meet the aliens. I'm trying to make connections up there. Like,
but didn't the guy from Cirque du Soleil go into space?
What's his name?
Years ago.
What's his name? Lepage, La Bonté. What the fuck's his name, this guy?
Oh, man.
He has an interesting name.
Tip of my tongue. Hold on.
Yeah, Guido always likes to mention him.
God damn it. If anyone in the chat knows who
is it Royal Lepage? What the fuck is this guy's name? Guy
La Liberté.
That's it.
Thank you, mademoiselle.
Yeah, Guy La Liberté. So this guy, he went to space. He was the first person.
Him flying into space.
Yeah, he was the first commercial person.
But he flew with a space team. Like, he wasn't like these guys. They're just like an entirely private crew flying up there,
Can't it blow up?
Well, look, of course there's risks, man. I mean, that's what scares the shit out of me, man. Like just a fraction of the calculation being off. You know what I mean? Who knows what can happen? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I wonder if this is some kind of a scam.
How could it be a scam?
Think about it. It doesn't make any sense. First of all, if you're the space station people, why would you want 3 random fucking dudes?
It's a tourist attraction, man. There's a lot of fucking money.
I know, but you're a scientist, right? You don't give a shit about tourist attractions. It's not a fucking zoo.
Yeah, okay, you're doing it. Well, look, at this, the same way that you're allowing people to go and visit whatever station here, like NASA or whatever. People are still working there. They're doing their work, but you have people coming by. Oh, okay, this is how it looks like.
I
This is
went
what
to
we do."
NASA, sir, and I gotta tell you, I don't think there's any work being done. I was
Yeah.
in NASA a couple of years ago, and I was like, this place is a fucking circus. It was like a Disney World. Everything was fake. Everything there was fake, George. All right? All the photos that the people give you when they're there and they say they were on Mars, not on Mars. It's a green screen. I took some of those photos. Fake. Fake. And then they showed me, they brought me to the place where the first Apollo mission was done, you know, when they landed on the moon?
Yeah.
That room. And like, this is where it really took place. And this is where they were sitting. I was looking around. I was like, get the fuck out of here. You can't play PlayStation here. You're going to fucking man rockets. Stop lying. Fake, George. Fake.
So you don't think we went to the moon?
Oh, we did go to the moon.
Okay,
But I don't
believe
think
that.
what they showed us in that room was fucking, I was in that room.
But was that more of a simulation or what was it? Like,
They said it was the real room. They said it was the real room. It felt fake as shit. It felt fake
There's
as
no
shit.
way you went. There's no way you went to NASA and they told you that this is the room that we went and
I
we,
swear to God, they said this is where we're watching. This is where we had the control and this and that they were showing me. And I was like, this is fake as fuck. It's like a goddamn set. I go, you mean it's like a simulation? Like, no, this is the real place. I was like, fuck, you guys gotta.
You're talking about the control center.
Yeah. Not
Okay, I thought you were
not the
talking about a
moon,
room.
George. I didn't go to the moon.
No. I understood that there was a room that they made. They made it look like it was the moon.
No, you have to drive there. So
Telling that this is where it took place. Okay, no, I misunderstood. Okay.
no, yeah. So basically, because it's like a campus. Let's say there's different buildings at NASA.
Yeah.
So in the main one, when you first get there, it's like a tourist trap where you buy shit like souvenirs and like I'm with an alien, all that nonsense. But then you could take like shuttles and go to different spots. And you could see. I went to see a big rocket. I went inside and you look under it and it was very cool. Fake, but no, it was very cool. But then I went to actually before that we went to the control center and I was the guy being like, this is really. I was like, come on, guys, what are you talking
There's
about?
like 5 buttons here. What's
Yeah.
going on?
What is this? How did you like my goddamn recording studio has more fucking tech in it than this place? What's going on here?
What were you doing at NASA?
It's none of your goddamn business. Classified.
Okay.
It's classified business. Classified
but
business.
This is a huge it's a huge business. Do you remember when Elon Musk started building his rockets and then NASA came out and said, "What are you doing? You shouldn't be involved in this. This is our
Suspicious behavior.
area of
I'm telling you.
expertise, blah blah blah." And now who's launching all the space missions?
Elon Musk. And
Elon
NASA's scared to say anything.
Yeah, because like I mean, he opened up the door. I mean, people's eyes to the fact that the government was spending billions of dollars
And doing
wasting
nothing.
shit.
Yeah.
And this guy is doing that at a fraction of a price. He's recycling the rockets. They're coming back, multiple usage. And they're like, yeah, there's NASA for you. Fuck all that money that you guys spent. I did it in a couple of years. I don't know how long it took him. Much more effective, much more efficient.
Well, private industry is always going to be more efficient than government, right? Because they don't have unlimited funds.
Yeah.
You have to deliver results or you're gone. Whereas
Exactly.
anything's funded by the government, they just sit there and jerk off.
Yeah. It appears we need an extra 150 billion.
Yeah, well, they were actually upset with me at NASA because I was very like cynical. Like I was asking a lot of stupid questions to people. Like it's like, oh, we're doing this, and next we're gonna show you. And I told the guy, I go, do you work for like a tourist thing or you work for actual NASA? And the guy's like, I work for, and he's like, I work for
Are you a
NASA.
guide? Like a
Yeah, like I
museum?
didn't know. He's like, I work for NASA. I go, don't you have anything more important to do than fucking guiding a bunch of Asians around the fucking the gift shop? Like, come on, man. You're getting paid by the government. What the fuck are you doing?
But it must be impressive, no? That whole complex there.
It was nice. It's nice, yeah. Jokes aside, it's nice, yeah. It's very cool. There's a lot of rockets around there. I don't think they work, but they show you a lot of cool rockets. And it's big.
You don't find it funny that we still that we haven't gone back to the moon?
Of course, I find it funny. I have had podcasts discussing this very same topic, like how.
If you did it once, why haven't we repeated it? Like that's the only question I have.
Well, there's two sides to this coin, right? So I've heard two different arguments. One argument is, what's the point? We already did it. We know we could do it. What's the point of going back there? Which is, I guess, valid. If there's nothing to do there, they go, there's just the moon. What are you going to do on the moon? And the other argument was that we were asked by the aliens to never go back. so you choose which route you want to take. Yeah. But I agree with the technology we have now compared to what they did before with less. It is surprising that we're not just constantly going to the moon, setting shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a space station, basically. Let's just go there.
That's
the only thing that exists.
That's where the space station should be, though, the moon.
To actually build it and like an actual infrastructure project.
Yeah, you don't think so? And it's safer. You build it for a couple of years, and then people can actually fly there. It could be a nice little point where you can set up there and then fly to places like Mars and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe they can turn into a resort too.
That I wouldn't look until space travel is so good that we can do what we do with planes and go there. I would stop opening it up to rich folks. I would build the infrastructure we need for scientific research.
Yeah.
So that we can have our scientists go to different planets and all that kind of shit.
I don't know. I just find it strange. I just find it strange. Like you said, I mean, if we did it once, I mean, what kind of studies are you doing at the space station that you can't conduct from the moon or on the moon?
I'm just saying, wouldn't it be easier on the moon? That's all I'm saying. I don't, but I could be wrong. I'm thinking, you got solid ground over there. When I saw those videos, it looked like people were having fun golfing, jumping around. You're floating. You're telling me you don't want to walk around floating, Superman style? Come on.
Tell me, when you went to NASA, did they bring you into that zero gravity chamber?
No, we took like these weird photos that makes it look like you're zero gravity. Again, a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. A lot of what they show you fake. But they showed me a lot of cool shit. But they didn't show me any zero gravity stuff.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
I'd like to experience that. That I would do.
Zero G, whatever the thing.
It's like you're floating. It's like you're in space, basically. They simulate that whole thing. So you walk in and you're like zero gravity.
Isn't that just air? Isn't it a lot of air from the bottom? Is that it?
No. It's just a zero gravity chamber. I think that's what it's called, right? Zero gravity or whatever it's called. I don't know. Maybe someone in the chat knows more about this. But yeah, you go in there and it's like they turn it on and you're suddenly floating in the air.
That's the feeling I get when I'm swimming. Like when I'm swimming, I feel like I'm flying. That's as far as I get.
Yeah.
But I am curious to see, like, now, is NASA going to compete with Elon Musk? Be like, oh, you think you're cool? Well, fuck, we're finally we're sending a human person, to Mars.
Well, I don't think so, because in the last year or so, they've been collaborating. I mean, they're using Elon Musk to send their stuff up in space. So, I mean...
Oh, I didn't realize he was helping them.
He's the one. Every space mission now goes to SpaceX. He's the one that launches everything.
I know, but I thought he was doing his independently. They're still doing their own thing. I didn't know they were working together.
No. I don't think NASA is doing any more rockets, unless someone knows in the chat. I don't know. But
they're busy selling hats.
All the NASA missions are strapped to SpaceX rockets.
Good for him. Good for him. How long you think before something happens with these aliens?
No, man, but now look, everyone is focused on Mars, right? I know that Elon Musk is set on really just landing there, or I don't know, sending I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do there, but he's zeroed in on that.
But how far is Mars?
I don't know.
I don't think we can realistically send a human being to Mars.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Or if we can send him, I don't think that guy's coming back.
I don't know. Like, this is honestly one area that I am clueless about. I have no idea how far Mars is from Earth.
I have the exact number here. The number is very far.
Very far.
Very
point,
far.
Very far.
Very far. Point. Very far. Yeah, it's confirmed here. G. Very far.
Do you remember that little rover that they sent?
Yeah, I remember the rover. Yeah.
How long did it take for that thing to get to Mars?
It must have taken a long time because when it got there, it was obsolete. It was a shitty robot.
Was it? I think it's still there. I think it's going around. No, it's sending back pictures and it's collecting samples off the ground and analyzing them. I think it's still there. It's still going around.
Maybe I'm just cynical. It seems fake.
So this is funny in the chat. One guy says it took 4 years. Another guy says 3 days.
It's a big difference.
Oh,
you guys got to get your shit together.
Oh, the rover is dead. Okay, I know. Anyway,
poor rover.
But yeah, that would be interesting. I mean, if we can get to Mars. Look, at this point, Elon Musk really does not surprise me. A couple years ago, he was talking, and everybody's like, "Dude, this guy's on drugs. What the fuck are you smoking?"
But you need imagination.
Of course.
These are the kind of people like Elon Musk who, with these kooky ideas, even if 10 of them don't work, the 11th that works is going to help propel us a little bit forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cars that he's making. In the beginning, it's like, oh, the batteries are too much. They're not lasting long. They had to do all people make it seem like he's like, yo, we need electric cars. And then he had one the year after. There was so much trial and error with that shit. And they weren't fast, and now they're super fast. And
yeah, no, but the thing is also like he turns around a result like really quickly. Like he says he's gonna do something, and like in a year, it's like boom, it's done.
Private industry.
Like that tunnel he's building under LA there, with the magnetic fields there.
Is that real? I thought that was fiction.
No, it's what it's called, the Boring Project or something like that. It's called.
No, the Boring. His company is the Boring Company. That's where he sells flamethrowers and shit.
Oh, that's not the tunnel he's building under.
You might call it the Boring Project. I don't know what the fuck.
Footage of that. I saw actual footage where you drive in with your car, it brings you down underground, and you go onto this magnetic field, and it just fucking throws you across LA or something.
I thought that was reenactments, like it was CGI. It's not real.
No, it's real. He's building it.
No, he's building it, but the video you saw wasn't a real thing. It was like a reenactment.
No, it was the actual thing. The tunnel exists.
Get the fuck out of here! And they're propelling people with magnets. They're shooting them across LA.
I saw one of Casey Neistat's vlogs where he was invited there for the launch or for the announcement or whatever. But yeah, it actually exists.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
How fast can you get from one side to the next?
I don't know, but apparently it's really, really fast.
Fucking LA's living in the goddamn future again. Now they have that when everyone moved out and it's just homeless people. Now they have these tunnels.
Like, how do you even get the permits for something like that to work underground? Like,
he's kind of like a supervillain. He's like Lex Luthor a bit. I like him. I don't think he's a bad guy, but the stuff he's doing is very supervillain-esque.
Yeah,
an underground tunnel, yes, with magnets, And then people are like, oh, it's because he hates LA traffic. And he's like, no, it is to move my robot army across the border quickly. He's going to take over Mexico, this guy. He's very supervillain-esque.
Yeah. Look, I like the guy, man. I admit that in the beginning I was part of that group that thought this guy was fucking completely crazy. But the guy's delivering results, man.
Didn't he start PayPal?
He did. I think that's where he made his fortune, when he sold PayPal to Google.
No, I think he was. I think his dad owned like diamond mines in South Africa or some shit.
South Africa? Yeah. That's possible. I don't know. I don't know.
This guy has like old slave money. So this guy had money from before.
Slave money.
Well, yeah, what do you think a mine in South Africa? How do you think they run?
I don't know. Let's assume they were kosher, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what South African mines are known for.
So yeah, that pretty much propelled him to go into Tesla.
Yeah.
And Tesla in the beginning was a huge flop. I don't know if you remember. There was like crazy losses,
But this guy believes in his shit.
It's just crazy to think the insane amount of money that you need to put these projects forward. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. A rocket to space. What does a rocket cost? A couple billion? Okay, let's go. It's like, what?
But I think if you have a safe, because this is all money he made that he's playing with, right? So if you have all that money, if you've already made billions, right, and you have them available, and if you lose all of it, you have your blood diamond money. So you're never really going to go hungry. You should take risks.
I'm pretty sure he's making more money with this.
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure too, but I'm just saying, even if you would lose all this guy's not going on unemployment.
You have something to fall back on.
Yeah, so I too would fucking go crazy and just spend it on innovative stuff. I would try to figure out what Nikola Tesla was talking about with the wireless energy. Mm-hmm. I would try to figure that out because that was his thing, right? He was fighting with who was it, Edison, because his method of having energy, electricity in houses was wireless. That's what he was working on. I don't know how real it was. They could have been a kookamania experiment, but apparently they shut him down because of that. Because General Electric had set all the power grids up, and they were making a fortune. Like that's how electricity was given. But it's like, no, you could transmit wirelessly. And they're like, no, it's gonna blow up people and cattle is gonna explode. It's kind of like what they were saying initially when we were talking about Wi-Fi, that it's gonna melt our brains. So he should look into that. He should put money into figuring out what the fuck Tesla was talking about.
Maybe he is. I don't know.
Like behind the scenes. That and Tesla said that he had figured a way to levitate really, really heavy things through frequencies and magnets and sounds.
Right.
So like heavy things like buildings, boulders, without the use of cranes or anything.
Wow.
Yeah. And he said it's not super easy, but but again, how was this just crazy shit, or was it stuff that they actually discovered?
Well, I'm sure. Look, it's backed by science. It's just figuring out exactly what science. The whole thing with the magnetic fields works. I mean, that's exactly what Elon Musk is doing with his tunnel. It's like a platform. The car goes on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the fast trains work.
No, I know, but it's
Yeah.
not the same thing as lifting a concrete structure or
Yeah.
a boulder, like lifting it up off the ground, right? We haven't discovered that yet. That's gonna be fucking badass.
Yeah, of course.
That's gonna change everything for us, building wise. I think it'll speed things up.
Yeah.
Me, I want to know about what you said about the flights to Europe, like when it goes up in space and comes down.
I had read that. I think it was last year or maybe a year and a half ago, but it wasn't that long ago. And I don't know how far he is in that, but yeah, there was an article stating, and I'll try and find it. Maybe I'll send it to you. Yeah, he was trying to incorporate um, uh, commercial commercial travel using rockets. Like it's fucking crazy. It's crazy, and it makes sense. Like scientifically, like mathematically, the science is there. Like you can't disprove the guy. If you leave and you fly up, I don't know, whatever angle, and then you drop down at another angle, you're gonna arrive at a destination. And because it's faster, it's a rocket. Yeah. You're
Yeah,
gonna cut
but do you
hours
remember?
to-
Was it the Concorde? Do you remember when they said we're gonna use fast fucking planes, and then they kept blowing up?
Yeah.
Was that the Concords they were called?
The Concorde. Yeah, I think that was the fastest passenger
But it
plane.
kept blowing up, no?
Well, yeah, because don't forget, I mean, you're still flying in the same direction. Like you're still, I don't know, I don't know what the terminology is, but you're flying essentially in the same direction like any other plane. You're just going a bit faster. This is like you're going straight up and then you're just coming back down. And because of the angles and all those whatever mathematical equations,
Yeah.
you're eliminating distance and obviously you're eliminating time. I don't know. Maybe the fact
I'm
that
just
the
saying. Let's
Concorde
not
happened-
forget. Let's not forget the Concorde stuff. Everybody was saying the same shit, and then people died.
Did people die?
Yeah, wasn't that shit? Why do you think we don't use them anymore? They were like, "Oh, these planes are so fast," and then they kept blowing up.
I think they were just too expensive, or I'm not sure, but I don't remember reading.
I think
any
the
of
deaths may have had
crash-
something to do with it.
The what? Sorry.
The deaths may have had something to do with it. I remember they were blowing up. I remember, but I was young too. But I remember hearing about these fast new planes, and then I was like, "Oh, this one blew up." I was like, "Oh, that's not."
Okay. First time I heard, I just thought they were way too expensive, and the return on the investment just wasn't there. It was way uh, too high in maintenance costs, and people were just not getting tickets. They were just nobody was using. Nobody was using the Concorde to fly.
I heard they weren't using them because they were blowing up. Like I've taken many planes in my life, G. So far, none of them have blown up. But that's because I never took one of these Concords. I feel like if I
Right.
threw one of those Concords in the mix, I wouldn't be here right now.
So Gapes in the chat is saying Concorde was not economical, and the sonic boom it produced was such a nuisance to people on the ground that it could only fly over water.
That's kind of funny. It's why aren't you using these planes anymore? They're a nuisance.
I don't know.
They're a public. What's going on? Oh, someone's going to London.
No, but can you imagine, like in the next 10, 15 years, like it'll just be a normal thing, right? All right, I'll see you. I'll see you in about 5 hours. Just gotta go to Rome for a little business trip and come back.
Well, that's the plan, right? That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
That's why even the magnet train, they're talking about the speed trains in Canada between cities. Did you hear
Yeah.
about this? They were talking about downtown Montreal to downtown Toronto.
They were talking about Quebec City, Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto.
But what was the time they were saying that it was going to take?
I don't remember.
But I remember someone describing that technically you could live in Montreal and work in downtown Toronto. And I was like, get the fuck, that's crazy.
I think it was something within 2 hours. Or if
Yeah, it was something absurd.
exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And the 2-hour commute, even though I wouldn't do it, there's people that do that now in the same city of where they live.
Absolutely, man. Are
yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah.
You live, I don't know, in fucking Vaudreuil, and you're working up in Laval. Good luck.
Yeah. So somebody in the future,
Yeah,
if that's the case, there's going to be people that work in Toronto, live in Montreal, vice versa. That's going to be what a life. That's going to be crazy.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah. We
No, but
are
imagine,
doing some amazing things. Some things we're doing aren't stupid. Some things are legit amazing. But a lot of it is stupid. A lot of what we're
but
doing is stupid.
no, but imagine, man. It's like, we were talking about the amazing thing about living in Greece or working in Greece or whatever. You know what I mean? You wake up in the morning, you hop on a space shuttle. It brings you to Greece in like about 40 minutes or an hour. You do what you have to do. You jump on another one. You come back home here and you sleep. Like it's not. It's just amazing. Of course, the time difference would fuck you up, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
In the chat, Rami's saying that it's what is it? It's supposed to take less than an hour. Hyperboom.
Where?
A Hyperloop train.
Montreal, Toronto.
Yeah. 39 minutes. Hey, you fucked. 40. You know how crazy that is? You could just go shopping in Toronto and come back.
Fucking amazing.
That's insane.
But
But can't that fuck with you? Like, how fast are you going?
Well, that's the thing, man. I don't know. I think that was the whole argument about Elon Musk's plan on having passenger, travel through rocket. Like, how do you put 50 people, 60, 100 people in that capsule and fucking send them at I don't know what speed it's projected with. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I read somewhere that even astronauts, like at some point they pass out. They can't.
Where in those speeds?
Yeah, when they're.
But that's what I'm saying. Because what I'm thinking in those trains going to Toronto or Montreal is like I'm thinking of like the Flash, like running really fast.
Yeah.
That's obviously you're in the train, so it's different. But those must be super dangerous too, Because one small hiccup, well, the whole thing fucking flip over.
Well, look, man, it's not new technology. I mean, China has their high speed, like the high speed rail.
I'm not gonna trust China. China also had coronavirus. I'm not trusting China on this. All right. You stop with this propaganda. No, but China does China have the Hyperloop stuff?
I think so, or is it Japan? I don't know. One of those Asian countries.
Japan for sure has this kind of shit. But China actually is a good test because China has all kinds of distances to cover, and they could build shit fast because a lot of people, and they have zero remorse for human life. So, if you're gonna test something, you test it in China.
Yeah.
They also have, I spoke about it yesterday, they're the first real digital currency of like an actual country.
Who?
China. They're actually, they have the digital yuan, I believe.
What is that?
Dude,
these things are advancing. I'm so out of the loop with these things like Bitcoin and all these
things. But that's why, because of things like Bitcoin and Chainlink and all that stuff, right? So they see where it's going, and they see that you have the crypto digital currency, right? Which a lot of people are behind, and you get there, but they go, okay, the only way that the federal governments are ever going to compete coming up, they have to have a full digital currency too. Not just stuff that you could do digitally, like sending from your bank, like an actual digital currency. They have the digital yuan. Yeah. These guys are super ahead. Yeah. Also, they have that system where they scan you. You know, your face and shit. They know where you are in the country, like Black Mirror. Did you know about that? Social credit. You didn't know about that shit? I'll send you a documentary about.
So you walk in some place and it scans you. Hello, Pantelis.
Well, they could do that. I mean, that's the best for sales. I don't know if they're doing that, but there's a social credit system in China. I don't know if this still applies, but a few years ago, it was still there, where you can lose social credit, and then you lose the ability to do certain things.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'll send you a documentary about this fighter who was talking shit. So fucking funny. He was talking shit about like, because they have those fake karate guys, like kung fu guys, like Steven Seagal. Like they touch you and you go flying, and people believe that shit. Anyways, so this guy, he's like an actual fighter. So he was going around China beating the shit out of them and calling them out on the internet. And the Chinese government got really upset because it says like counterculture. I don't know, he's subverting the youth or some shit like that. So they fucked him over to the point where because his social credit score was low, he wasn't able to rent a hotel room, sign a lease. He couldn't ride in the regular trains. He had to ride in the back with like the animals and shit. So they had set up an actual fight to fight one of these kung fu guys. But in order for him to get there, because he wasn't allowed to take the speed train or anything like that, he had to take like a train with animals, and he couldn't rent a hotel room. So this guy was on the train for 3 days to show up for his fight, all fucked up and tired, and he still beat the shit out of the guy.
goodness,
And then
man.
they made a deal with him where if he publicly apologized, they would start allowing him in society again to be able to rent you and all that. It's fucking scary, bro. Social credit.
How discriminating is that, man? It's like Jesus. We're trying here to get people out of poverty, get them off the streets, and over there, like, what? You're homeless? Fuck that shit. You're remaining homeless forever.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, it's not even a homeless thing. They made him homeless because they didn't like his politics, and they're doing that here. We were just ticketing the homeless until last night. We were ticketing the homeless for being homeless till last night. We were doing the same thing here, and it's kind of what it's just. Remember that there are a billion people, so take whatever we're on now, what we're doing now, and put us on steroids of a billion people, because even our government, we have what is it? Who's that guy with the beard? The culture minister. The minister of the guy who he said that they want to start regulating the internet and blocking stuff for our safety. Did you see that? They're gonna block what we can do and see on the internet for our safety, because we need them to decide
This is here
what
in
we see.
Canada?
This is here in Canada. This is here in Canada. So that kind of shit, it's the same thing. It's just earlier stages. Like I said, we don't have the same amount of people, and we progress slower. But anytime a government decides that's unsafe, you're categorized as this, so you can't do this. You know, it's the same thing. Just that there are a billion people. They have all that infrastructure. They're just doing it way faster than we are. But we're heading down the same path. Look at Twitter. Twitter's still deleting people.
Twitter went off this tangent, man. It's like, what the hell is going on?
Anyone that's talking shit about them now is getting fucking removed. It's crazy.
I'm just thinking about the repercussions that company can have. I mean, are they that big that they can justify these actions and not incur, whatever damage?
Well, now it's very difficult because they're an American company who listens to German laws. It's fucking insane, and supports Chinese communist rhetoric. So it's international. But in America, where like they're founded, right? People are like, oh, well, the government is going to go against them. But they helped elect the current government, and they're a propaganda wing for that government now. So why would the government go against them? This is the best thing. The government now can decide, like the Biden administration can decide in any country, like they were doing 2 weeks ago. They can decide if there's an opposition leader they don't like, they don't need to send in the CIA anymore. They just block them on social media so these people can't get their message out. They can't get voted in, right? Or they send false things on the internet, like on Twitter and stuff, and they perpetuate that so that people lose. So now the warfare of them controlling South America and all, it's so much easier. They don't have to send in any spies or anything anymore. They just block them. That's why Uganda got pissed and all that shit. It's crazy. It's too much control. I don't think companies should have that much control.
It's not that. It's just that, we're limited to the actions of what, 2, 3, 4 major companies. Like, how much control should Facebook have, Twitter, and all these they have billions of users, right? I mean, it's scary to a certain degree.
It's scary when they don't apply their own rules, right? So Facebook is notorious for always, whenever they want more info on you, they just change their terms and conditions. They were selling our information for years. Remember, until people found out and lost their fucking shit. Then whenever there's a competitor, they just buy them out and then share the information between. You saw what happened with WhatsApp last week?
No.
Basically, WhatsApp was supposed to be safe, quote unquote. They weren't supposed to share your information. But apparently for a while, ever since Facebook had bought them, they've been taking all the stuff, all your information, everything you say there, and they've been cross-referencing it with all the shit you say and do in private message on Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah. They have psychological and retail profiles on all their users. So they have psychological profiles that they think based on what you share, what you say in your conversations, and they have profiles on what is more likely to sell to you. So they notice that George, when we send him these commercials on Instagram, he says this on WhatsApp, he says this on Facebook, and then he ends up buying this at Best Buy. So these are the type of ads that really appeal to George, and then they sell that information. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, it is crazy. See, look, they hide behind a bunch of whatever legal criteria that you sign off on, right? I mean, they can say, "Look, man, you didn't have we didn't force your hand to download WhatsApp and use it."
Yeah, exactly.
Did you read the terms and conditions or whatever? Nobody does. Everybody just ticks the box and sign me up.
Yeah.
So they're just playing it like, well, look, it's written there. It was your decision,
Yeah,
and that's it. You just abide by our regulations.
but it's exactly that. But here's where it gets tricky. Right now, the town square, all the social discourse is happening online. So a lot of people, if you're relevant, you know what I mean? You have to be, if you're young, if you want to know what's going on, you have to be online. Because
Yeah,
you have a choice not to be there. It's not the same as a show. Like a show, people could turn us off or on. It's not going to affect them, like, oh, you didn't hear what was said there. It was very important for you. Whereas Facebook, Twitter, politicians are putting their videos and their messages out there. YouTube, that's where you won't get it anywhere else.
it's because that's where all the attention is.
Well, what are they going to do now? For example, let's say Trudeau, he has a message for the coronavirus. What's he going to do? He's going to do a cross-country tour and tell everyone in their neighborhoods. No, he's going to post it online, put it on fucking YouTube, and then everybody's going to share it. That's it. So if they're saying, oh, it's your choice to be there, yeah, on one hand they're right, but on the other hand, well, this became the new platform for social discourse and where everyone's sending their message. You're kind of handcuffing me because I don't have a choice but to give you all this information.
Exactly.
So I think they just shouldn't even have the right to ask you. I don't think they should have the right to take that kind of information from you. To build a psychological profile on you is crazy, I think.
Yeah.
It shouldn't even be an option.
Well, look, from a business perspective, like I can understand how it makes sense, right? I mean, you want to know what the consumer, your ideal consumer is, what he does, what he thinks,
Yeah.
what he buys, what he doesn't buy, and look, information is money now, man. It's that's where I mean, if you had a company and you want to know the profile of your consumer, this information would be valuable to you.
Yeah, I've narrowed down. I know my target audience are escorts and Hasidic Jews. That's where, that's the fine line where I'm in.
This is it. That's our niche.
That's the niche. That's the niche.
Speaking of information, there's this whole thing coming out now, yesterday and today in the news, and there's a lot of pressure mounting on this. The Quebec media over here wants to have access to the hospitals, emergency rooms, and like they cannot go in, they cannot access these spaces, and it's
What do you
launched
mean?
this huge debate on whether or not media should be involved. Like you saw the clips coming out of Italy and all these other countries where we were getting images from the ICU units, the emergency rooms where you had patients on ventilators, and so here in Quebec it doesn't exist. We don't know. We don't have any images out of the hospitals, and the media wants to have access, and they're pressuring.
It's interesting that they want to have access because I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to throw her under the bus. But a nurse told me yesterday, because we were just arguing, like, oh, what's best to do? Curfew, this and that. And because I keep hearing how overrun the emergency rooms are. And she's like, bullshit. She's like, I'm there. Bull fucking shit. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm not saying they're overrun. I'm saying they're saying that they're overrun. I'm not there to take the fucking numbers to tell you. I'm just saying that's what they're saying. And she's like, bull fucking shit. She goes, I was like, okay.
Well, yeah, because that's what they're saying, but they don't have any
Yeah.
any way of finding out for real. They're not allowed to be there. But see, look, for me,
she's there. She's there.
Yeah, okay, I understand. But at the same time, it's like, look, you give that space. You allow the media.
Why would you allow the media? What the fuck are you gonna do in there? Like, that's another thing. It's like, what are you, sick? Fuck off. Like,
no, exactly. I mean, we're trying to limit people. We're trying to limit the risk of propagation over here, and we're gonna, we're telling people you cannot even come and see the patients. You can't even go see a family member.
That's
I'm
stupid.
allowed
Yeah.
you to come in here. So on one hand, I understand them. On the other hand, however, like you said, how do I know what really is going on? Maybe the media should have access to bring us back the information. But then that opens another door where how much of that, like one image that they're probably going to find about of a person really suffering and nearly dying, are they going to exploit so that they can promote the government's policy or future restrictions or whatever? You know what I mean?
100%. Whether they find a hospital that's not that overrun, they can use that and be like, look, it's fine. And then every other hospital's like, what are you talking about? We're overrun, right? Or they could find one really sick person and be like, everyone's dying in here, So there's no good going to come of this. I agree. But it's funny that the media is running out of shit to talk about. So, like, let us in there. We need new videos.
Yeah, no, just this morning I had the TV on, and for a good half hour, that's all they were talking about. It's like, dude, can you fucking like crybabies? We wanna go in. What's happening? We want clips. We want image.
That's such a weird thing to say publicly.
Yeah.
Like to
We like
complain
the
about.
sensationalism. We need to put this out there. We need to, I don't know, whatever, instill fear in people, or I don't know what the hell they're gonna do.
Yeah.
And they're basing themselves on other countries where they had access. Like we've seen so many images in all these other hospitals. Personally, I don't want to see those images. I don't want to see a person fucking suffering and dying.
Yeah, I get it. Why would I want to keep seeing that shit? Remember
But
Italy?
It comes down to what you're saying. How do I know what really is going on when I have a nurse on the inside telling me we're just fucking doing nothing? We're playing fucking solitaire.
Yeah, you know what's
bullshit.
funny? They were for months, right? People were like, "Yo, man, the government's really fucked everyone over." And in the States, they were very vocal about New York, right? They're like, "Yo, Cuomo killed people," right? They were pissed off. And then obviously he's like, "That never happened. It's not my fault." No. And then I guess he forgot what his defense was, because there's a clip of him yesterday being like, the reason why people are dying is the government. It's mismanagement. The government is what do you say? The government is incapable of doing their job. They're not good at it. And it's like incompetence, he said. It's like, yeah, that's you. That's you, dude. You're the one we've been complaining about for months. You're that incompetent government that killed everyone. But I guess because he's like, fuck, there's no more defense. Let me just say this. Like, yeah, it's the fucking government. Yeah, that's you, dickhead. Yeah. So now it's coming out a lot. Yeah, a lot of the deaths were due to mismanagement, due to panic.
Yeah.
And reactionary tactics.
Yeah, but I mean, look, I mean, there's no surprise there. I mean, even here in Quebec, the hospital system, the whole health network was underfunded, mismanaged, disorganized. This. If we're looking for a positive thing, I think this whole experience has probably gotten the health officials and the whole health network to kind of
rethink.
Not rethink, but to kind of increase their preparedness. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult to see how something of this nature were to happen again in our hospitals, not being able to confront it a lot more effectively than they did last March.
Well, they were also being given conflicting information. So in their defense, I mean, remember in the beginning, they're like, "Oh, anything you touch, no, you have to leave stuff outside. You'll die. Airborne. It's not airborne. It is." They're being told conflict, so they didn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Ventilators right away, ventilators, and then it ended up that if you put people that don't need it early on ventilators, you could kill them, and they were killing people. They were blowing out lungs. I'm talking about in general, the world. I'm not blaming Quebec. Italy, it happened a lot too. So people were given misinformation. They didn't know. Remember in the beginning, the States, everybody was asking for more ventilators. And then they just stopped asking. The reason why they stopped asking is when they figured out that they were killing people. Like, shit. But they didn't do it to kill people. They did it because they're like, yo, we're being told this is what needs to happen, preventative measure, so that they survive. So they were just trying to follow every direction they were being given. And a lot of it was wrong. It's the panic. It's when you panic and you don't analyze the situation, that's when shit goes awry.
Right.
But it's weird that that's the shit that we don't talk about now. Like, you have to actually go and look into and find out. Like, they don't mention why they stopped asking for, why they stopped putting people on. They don't mention that. I think it might also have to do with some people might start lawsuits. They might be like, shit, maybe my uncle would have lived if he wouldn't blow out his fucking lungs. So maybe that's why they're like, okay, this is not the time to get sued.
Well, that's the other thing, right? Whenever this is all done, and hopefully it'll be done soon, it's an interesting point that you bring on. What's going to happen? Like, how many people are, once all this is done with, dealt with, how many people are going to be like, okay, we're done with this whole pandemic. It's time to sue the government because of this or that. Like, imagine all the information that we're going to have by then. I mean, we already have more information than we did a year ago, and it's normal.
Yeah.
I wonder if the cases, the court cases, are just going to go fucking skyrocket against the government for their mismanagement or misinformation or
I thought of that.
Hospital administrations.
So for hospitals, I thought of that in the beginning. Like I said, the people that were getting their lungs blown out, the people that died unnecessarily, and then we found out, ooh, fuck, that wasn't the right way. I think they might. Personally, I hadn't experienced that, so I don't. But what I did think is there has to be some kind of civil rights, civil liberties lawyer here in Quebec that could definitely rip the government apart over the curfew. Because when the curfew was instated, right, there wasn't science backing it, right? Mm-hmm. There was no, so that might get tricky, especially when it was a time when the WHO was coming out and saying that even the lockdowns, we didn't do them properly. So we were just hurting businesses for no reason. So if there's someone that has the resources, that they might be able to fuck the government over big time. Because you just took away people's rights with no, just because you said, I think it's good, even though science was against you. So that might turn out and bite them in the ass. But it's hard to find people that are, like, people have to live their jobs. People lost a lot of money. They have to live their lives. They have to go back to work. It's hard to find the time to do that. Because, this shit is not an overnight open and shut court case. It could take years. So you need resources, you need time. So even if you're right, I don't know who has the resources to fight that kind of stuff later. Plus, how much of it is accidental? I mean, then again, for hospitals, even if it's accidental, it doesn't make it right. I think you still sue them. But it's not, you know what I mean? Like, they didn't know. They were just following what everyone else was doing.
Yeah, and that'll be the argument, even from the government's perspective. Like, yeah, okay, we understand that you think we took away your rights and freedoms, but at the same time, look at the results we got.
Yeah, but then again, they go, look, there's no science proving that the results that you're showing came from the curfew, because you also had a lockdown in place at the same time, and the curfew was and also the tickets for the curfew. That's another thing that's crazy. To taking people $1,000.
I'm convinced. Look, this is what I told my wife. I go, look, let's stop panicking. You get pulled over by the cop. Don't fucking stress. Don't
take the ticket,
angry.
And we fight it. Yeah.
Like, and I'm convinced there's gonna be thousands of these things coming across the courts in the next couple of months. Everybody's just gonna be contesting them. And I have a feeling that they're gonna win, because, like you said, like you're saying, it's against our rights and freedoms. Like, what curfew, you fucking idiot? You know what I mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we're not at war. This isn't the Soviet Union. Like, okay, if you're gonna give a ticket for an illegal gathering, you could prove they were being dangerous. Different story. That's gonna be hard for you to fight in court. But some guy walking home at 8:30. There's no way that's going to stick in court. He's like, yeah, it took me a half hour longer to get home. What do you want me to fucking tell you, judge? It took me a half hour longer. And your guys, instead of stopping me, they should have tried to go fucking stop a rape. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like, they stop old men walking down the street. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But again, that's where I draw the line. Me, it's your civil liberties, especially in Canada, when people like to, infringe upon them. That's when I get fucking pissed. It's not about everything else. Like, I wanted to do it 1 month hardcore. 1 month we should have done, or maybe even 8 weeks. Maybe 6 weeks. Let's say a month and a half, hardcore. Close, legit close everything, but everything is guaranteed. You're getting your food delivered, right? Only real essential workers are working. Bam, continue life as usual. We don't let travelers in. Boom. Instead, we've been doing this year of up and down.
Yeah, but listen, it's the yo-yo effect. And you're right. If they had implemented this, let's say in September, when the schools were reopening, maybe we wouldn't have been in this situation.
6 weeks hardcore. If anybody has it, fucking 6 weeks. So hopefully it's gone. And that's it. And then you get back to normal. Because this is crazy. It's a year. It's never going to end like this. In, out. It's like a wound that you never let heal. Every time it's about to heal, you rip out the Band-Aid and you start fucking with it again. Yeah. Just let it. Either let it or don't. One of the two. Either we go all out. We go Sweden route, that's what I'm saying.
We'll see what happens. I want to bring back our famous friend, Bill Morneau, Canada's former finance minister.
What's he up to, that guy? What's that kid doing these days?
So basically, just to put everyone into the loop, this guy resigned because of all the we scandal that happened last year. Just a huge mess, and we're not going to go through that. I mean, go listen to the previous episodes.
For you, if you remember the we scandal, it's basically the government saying we can steal your money.
And we can give it to just our friends. Here, take $1 billion.
We are better than you.
So he resigned. It was like a huge scandal. It was the whole thing, bad press. The guy resigns, steps down, and announces a couple of days after that he's running for the position of Secretary General of the OECD. This is the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Huge organization. I mean, there's like a 35 or 36, maybe 37 members that contribute to over 60% of the world's economy. So Justin Trudeau had to come out and say, yeah, we're going to back his candidacy. We're going to put all the resources available to him in order for us to gain that top position. The guy yesterday he pulled out of the race because there was not enough support for him. So he stepped down. And it's just funny because you have government elected officials coming out what's his name, the Foreign Affairs Minister, Marc Garneau, saying, "Oh, we're very disappointed.
How are you?"
Yeah, Canada didn't get enough support. Like, how can you be surprised? Fuck, the guy stepped down because of your incompetence in this huge fucking scandal that shed so much negative light on mismanagement and distrust. How do you want the international community to say, "Oh yeah, that's the guy that we want running this organization"? What's wrong with fucking people, man? Like, seriously, what are you surprised about?
A lot of these guys I find are out of touch.
It's crazy. Like, I can understand you wanting that top position. Okay, it's it's a prestigious position. That's fine, But to actually be shocked that you didn't get support, I don't know. Having said that, though, Greece has a candidate who passed, so she's in the final stage. She's in the last 5 people remaining. Her name is Anna Diamantopoulou.
That's a nice name.
She's a career politician. When I was living in Greece, I think she was a European parliamentarian. She was elected in the European Parliament, and they brought her back. She ran for office. Subsequently, she served as minister. Very intelligent woman, and I'm glad a country like Greece is actually in the rankings there. So who knows?
But are you doubtful?
She's a woman. She's smart. She's a politician. Look, there's a lot of things playing in her favor. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But fucking Bill Morneau, man. I read it this morning, actually last night, and I actually tweeted it. It was late. It was like at 1 a.m, something like that. And I'm like, what a fucking clown. What a mess, this country. We can't get anything right. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, we could get some stuff right. Maple syrup.
Yes.
Delicious. Yeah, look.
That's it. Yeah, go ahead.
When are elections supposed to happen now? Has it been announced? Is it going to happen in the spring? Is that real or no?
I don't know, man. Look, I don't want to say it because I was wrong in the past. I thought last October we were going to be in elections. September, October. Obviously, the scandal around and Justin Trudeau proroguing Parliament. I guess
proroguing is the best word.
Yeah, right. So I was convinced that at last year fall. During the fall, we would be in election. So we're not. That's not the case. There's a lot of people speculating that now, just before the summer break, he might drop the hammer. So around springtime, March, April, May, around there. Who knows? I still believe it. I believed it last year that that's what I would have done. I would have called an election. I mean, you're really high up in the polls. There is no opposition. The Conservatives had just elected a new leader. I would have gone then strategically, right? But who knows? So a lot of people are thinking that we might go into an election now in springtime. And there's obviously going to be a municipal election later this year, 2021. So their 4 years are up. So October, November, there's definitely going to be a municipal election. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this whole COVID thing will be done with, so I can pick up the car ride conversations like I had done back in 2019. That was fun.
Oh yeah, it was like comedians in cars getting coffee. It was politicians in cars getting jerked off. Well, gee, this has been an interesting, if not overly problematic to start with, morning show. You guys can...
I just hope you end up in jail, dude. I mean, just be careful when you walk out of that studio. I don't know if Poseidon is still there or not, but...
he knows what's good for him. He won't be. But, so if you guys are interested in George, which you should be, links are in the description. George has a hit podcast called The Backstage Podcast, where he interviews politicians backstage, asks them hard-hitting questions. Also, his hit podcast, Just Us Dads. You can see him wearing the hat of that podcast right now. Just Us Dads available wherever you get your podcast, wherever podcasts are sold. So check out Just Us Dads. Links in the description. New episodes drop right after the morning shows usually. And today at noon, in 5 minutes, new episode of 2 Drink Minimum is dropping on the 2 Drink Minimum YouTube channel. Head over to patreon.com/Pantelis for exclusive podcasts, movie nights, all kinds of fuckery and funnery. Patreon.com/Pantelis. Also, he wasn't here today, but check out the description. Links to Phil stuff. Phil also has podcasts. So thank you guys for checking us out. Sorry for the problems in the morning. Poseidon will be promptly dealt with. Thank you guys.
Okay.
This motherfucker.